Now, you can't help but to grin from ear to ear when TV personality Samora hits our screens. I mean, he has grown from strength to strength, of course, being front and center, the headlining TV presenter for Real Kopoza on SABC1. Welcome back to the studio.
Thank you very much for having me. I feel like I should get comfortable. I don't know what.
Kulega, take off your shoes.
Because I feel like I'm at home.
Kusekhala, Lela, when you're under the SABC umbrella, we are all a family, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 sisonke. So thank you for coming back and visiting us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, look, 2019 has been something else for you. If you were to sum up 2019 in just a few sentences, what would it be?
Highs and lows, ups and downs.
Okay.
Back and forth.
Okay.
You know, there have been some very good moments and there have been some very, terrible moments as well. But I think I've learned a lot just as a person.
Yeah.
You know, I've realized my threshold for a lot of things. And it's made me realize what to pay attention to and what not to pay attention to. You know, when you say, if I can go through this,
okay,
then everything else...
There's nothing else.
Suka. If I can go through this,
Look, Samora, that's a very honest answer you gave me, and I just want to dive straight into the thick of it. Of course, Messi Happy in February, you came through,
yes.
You visited us here on Afternoon Express, you were throwing down with Jeannie, and then unfortunately, the very next day or a few days after, you experienced the most horrific incident. Don't you want to speak us through what happened, and how, more importantly, did you pick yourself up?
All right, so first of all, I think when you come from an environment where race has never really been a thing, it's never been an issue, even if, and I always say, even if it is there, it's not overt.
No.
You know, so it's just not something that you're used to. Being called a monkey in the street, you know.
And derogatory terms.
Derogatory terms. So, and then on top of that, and I think, you know, when that happens, you can kind of deal. But when you are assaulted physically as well, on top of that, because of your race, it just takes you to another point.
Obviously.
When you have to wake up in an ambulance and you don't know where you are.
Samor.
You know. And the funny thing is, the paramedics...
Obviously, the bubbly person Samora is, he finds humour somehow out of all of it.
So apparently the paramedics, my friend was asking, how is he when we got to the hospital? Yeah. And they're like, no, he's fine, he's awake. Seemingly delusional because he keeps talking about his face. He says he works on television.
Obviously, you would find the humour in that. I mean, even when you are at the bottom, as people may say, you're still focusing so much on your passion. Your mind is still so focused on your job. And I think that's what makes you stand out in terms of our peers and people in the industry. You somehow are just so perseverant, and through it all, you come out on top. And now we with you today. How did you pick yourself up?
First of all, I always like to say very big shout out to my parents for the good genes, because I healed really well. But, you know, I think when you come from an experience like that, you need to be cognizant of your thoughts, because it's very easy to slip into a position where you are now looking at people who weren't the perpetrators and looking at them and painting them under the same brush and painting them under the same light. However, it has also made me aware of just people's energies around me.
Yeah.
You know, just being on the road in that specific area, it happened in the West Rand in Johannesburg. Just being on the road and just seeing people's faces.
It makes you super vigilant.
Yeah, and you get to notice when energy, you know, why are you going to be angry at me for just merely driving a better car than you, or you know, something like that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And on that note, I mean, everyone that's watching at home, we are entering silly season, the festive season. Everyone is in a good mood. People are, of course, overindulging. Please be safe. Please be careful. Watch your back. Be vigilant. Of course, we are going into a brighter South Africa, but of course, that doesn't mean do not protect yourself first and foremost. Moving on to the brighter side of life, you are killing it on Real Kopoza. Can we just talk about that?
Thank you.
How's the experience been like for you? I mean, obviously moving from Hectic to going to Real Kopoza, it's an older platform, bigger platform. The audience is crazy, and the things you guys talk about are hella spicy.
You know, the thing is, I always say that when I moved from Kids TV to where I am now, it was probably God ordained, because by the time that I left there, I was already feeling like my brain is just working overdrive. It's at a much more adult level. So you now need to bring yourself slightly lower to be able to interact. And there's also certain things that you can't say, which
Yeah.
means that I'm a lot less of myself. But now I go on there and it's all systems go. Like, I can be my normal spicy self from beginning of the show right to the end, you know?
Has that helped you grow as an individual?
It definitely has. It's definitely helped me grow in terms of I am more comfortable in my skin now.
Yeah.
I'm no longer feeling like I need to conform to be around certain people. I'm unapologetically myself. I will be around people and, you know, be Usamora Mangesi.
And say it as it is.
And say it as it is, you know?
Well, I'm definitely tuning in every single week, sipping the tea, because, boy, do you guys have fun on Real Kopoza.
It is
Thank you
absolutely
so
fun.
much for coming through. You've already said that this is home, so make yourself comfortable, take off your shoes, kick back, relax, and definitely hang around until the end of the show. Now, tune in after the break to find out more about some Woolies foot care products. Plus, we meet singer-songwriter Shade. See you after the break.